Summit has a workforce problem, and it boils down to overqualification versus wages. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, CDOT is prepping for winter with paving all this week on westbound I-70 between Frisco and Copper and year-round construction east of Summit on a westbound express lane between Idaho Springs and Georgetown. CDOT Director Shoshana Liu talking earlier this fall about her winter priorities.
Now, as every year, we're making sure that we have the capacity to be able to deal with the sort of unique challenges of getting folks out there to the mountain corridor.
What if we get another big season like last year and state roads are battered by avalanches?
The lessons that we learned last winter, right, we really have to be on watch for the avalanches. The slide paths that opened up last winter, are going to be vulnerable again in the future.
Also on her radar is the traction law, with better education for out-of-state drivers and rental car companies.
We are hoping and planning to raise awareness in the community of those renting out cars too about how the law applies.
Penalties for a traction law ticket range from $130 to $650, with fines of nearly $1,200 for truckers who stall traffic in a snowstorm without chains. Summit County was spared the worst of wildfire season and the cumbersome, costly process of fire transfer. Bill Jackson with the Dillon Ranger District explains.
Fire transfer would come from all those different programs like recreation and trails and fuels reduction projects and wildlife funds, all the funds. All had to contribute towards emergency wildland fire.
The Forest Service spends more than half its dwindling budget on fires, but a new federal bill, the Omnibus Bill, would create an emergency fund just for wildfire.
It actually creates an emergency funding source, much like a natural disaster, after a hurricane or a tornado.
That bill takes some pressure off ranger districts, but leaves a different funding question.
Will it change the overall budget allocation in the Forest Service?
5 major wildfires are burning in Colorado today, including the Decker Fire to our south, scorching nearly 8,500 acres within 2 miles of downtown Salida. This week on the State of Summit, we learn why Colorado's growing population is not feeding the local workforce.
Right now, unemployment in the area is so low that we've got more jobs than we have bodies to fill by orders of magnitude.
That was Jessica Volland with the Colorado Workforce Center. She oversees just about every mountain resort county in the state, and they share one thing: a need for low-paying service sector employees.
Having an economy that's really tourism heavy, as Summit County does, means that you actually have a pretty significant percentage of your workforce who is earning at or around the state's minimum wage.
In Summit, one issue is overqualification. About 57% of the workforce has a college degree or higher, while just 30% of jobs require more than a high school diploma.
You have this kind of mismatch between the skill level and the education level of your workforce and the jobs that are available in the community.
The second and bigger issue is pay versus cost of living. Along with Denver and Boulder, Summit is the only county considering a local minimum wage higher than $12 per hour starting next year.
$15 an hour for a full-time job is about $31,000 a year. $20 an hour bumps you up to about almost $42,000 a year.
But that cash could go a long way.
For a family that's living on the margins of being able to afford their rent and food and transportation and health care, an additional $6,000 a year is pretty significant.
Tune in again next Wednesday for The State of Summit on Krystal 93. Ski mountaineering makes its Olympic debut this season at the 2020 Winter Youth Olympics in Switzerland, and Summit native Jeremiah Vale is ready.
The Youth Olympic qualifiers are late November, and I am hoping to qualify for the Youth Olympics.
The 17-year-old senior is killing it right now on the high school cross-country circuit, but when the snow flies, he swaps running shoes for Skimo boots.
They're both endurance sports, and you need to get your ability to go at a fast speed for a long time up in both of them.
Several other youth and adult athletes on the U.S. Skimo team live right here in Summit, and today they will be in Frisco with the Summit Skimo Club. Meet the team and learn more about the sport tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Frisco Nordic Center. That's tonight at 6:30 with the Summit Skimo Club in Frisco. Local fire danger is high today. With state-one restrictions, fires are banned in the backcountry. In sports, the Avalanche play the Penguins tonight at 5 p.m. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, all Summit High sports are off today, back tomorrow with volleyball, boys soccer, and cross country. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.